guys, so what are the updates for today on the Operation Amputation story in the Philippines? Well, I just read in Daily Mail that Thomas Markle is out of ICU and his surgeon has said that he's doing very well and he will have physical rehab and be taught how to walk with a prosthetic leg in a week or so. And what else is going on? As you can see, I'm on the Champs-Elysees today. I took a walk. So, yeah, that's going to be it's like I'm doing a voiceover with my footage from the Champs-Elysees today. Anyway, so what else is going on? So, yeah, it sounds like the private jet situation is dying down. I don't hear a lot of chatter about that, but a lot of the commenters have responded to that suggestion by Samantha Markle by saying that the Daily Mail could swing the cost for the private jet. It's the least they can do. I mean, they are acting as a mediator slash intermediary between Thomas Markle and Meghan, his daughter, the Duchess of Sussex, which is, if you really think about it, is quite bizarre. I mean, it's bizarre when you think about the fact that there can't be any more unobjective third party than the Daily Mail. I mean, all of the writers of the Daily Mail, almost 100%, if not 100%, are anti-Sussex. They hate Meghan. They write the most horrific, insulting, deplorable articles about Meghan on a daily basis, at least 3 articles a day. So when you consider that they are a mediator slash intermediary in this situation, it's like comical. It's comedy. It's tragic comic, right? Why would Thomas Markle have elected to appoint the Daily Mail as an intermediary in this situation? Because this is not a situation for a third-party newspaper and newspaper editors to interfere with. I mean, this is a man who has a private medical situation, and so you would think that the normal course of action would be to do so with his family. I mean, there's no time, I think, that is more private than a medical crisis like this. Why would a newspaper of all things and the editors therein be acting as intermediaries so that even the Duchess's camp is forced to communicate with them to find out even the most basic information, such as which hospital is Thomas Markle in? You would think that in all of the articles written about this story, the first thing that the Daily Mail would have done would, since they are the intermediaries and since they are the ones with all the information, is to say Thomas Markle has been admitted to XYZ hospital in the Philippines, like actually name the hospital. The fact that they have been so consistent, at least from what I can see, do correct me if I'm wrong, they've been so consistent in refusing to name the hospital where this man is staying, and they are the intermediaries with all the information, such as, again, where is he staying, which hospital. I say this only because it appears that the Duchess has been trying valiantly to find out which hospital her father is actually in. And I think I've read that her team has reached out to the Daily Mail for this information, which is completely ridiculous, right? I mean, if everybody's trying to really reconcile and, get him to see his daughter and grandchildren before he dies, you would expect them to do this differently. I mean, Samantha, I'm sure, knows which hospital. Samantha has a daughter who's close to Megan. The information could have been sent that way. Or, again, they could have, even if they used the Daily Mail as the intermediary and the Daily Mail was writing all these articles, you would think that they would have put this information in the article, right? So that everybody knows, or certainly Megan knows where to reach him. They're still trying to say that, oh, Thomas does not use this email address anymore. But again, if he hasn't deleted the email address, then I don't understand why it's such a difficulty for him to simply open it up and read the email. I mean, it just seems like they are going out of their way to try to avoid admitting that he's already read the email and knows the contents of it. Nobody's asking him to tell the world the contents of the email. I mean, that's private, but he could at least say, "Oh, I got the email. Thank you." And, end of discussion. But it seems like he's still holding out by saying that he hasn't received the email and that he's waiting for Megan to call him. And I am not really privy to whether Megan, in fact, has his phone number and where she's leading as far as, this phone call. But it just seems like this is the latest, the drama now is whether Megan will actually call him in the Philippines. What do you guys think? Should she call him or not? I know I've seen on some other channels where they're saying, just don't, just keep out of it. And I'm sort of that school of thought at this point myself. But again, I am not going to impose my own value judgments on the Duchess. I reserve my opinions just for, this forum. And she, of course, is free to make any decision she makes with regard to this very difficult situation. And whatever decision she makes, I support, whether she calls him or whatever. I hope she doesn't go to the Philippines, certainly. And I hope that she, whatever she decides to do, that she remains cautious, because this is a very treacherous situation. I'm still convinced that they're setting her up. They have orchestrated this whole thing, that they're lying about the time frame. They're lying even about the nature of the emergency. And they're doing all of this to create the maximum drama, prolong the story as long as possible so that they can make as much money as possible, and also make Megan the heavy, make her look bad. So, whatever she decides to do, she decides to do, because, I mean, in the end, this is her father. But, it's quite a yucky situation, as I have said repeatedly, and I certainly don't envy Megan with that. What else is going on as far as that is concerned? Um, I haven't really heard anything else. Have you guys heard anything else as far as the Thomas Markle brouhaha? And I think Daily Mail came out with some kind of statement saying that they did not act as puppeteers or something like that to Thomas Markle, that he's the one who reached out to them. But you have to wonder, if Thomas Markle first reached out to the Daily Mail journalist to let her know that he'd be chopping his foot that day, and she's like the very first person that he contacts, and she's the one who informs his other family members. You kind of have to wonder whether they really do have plausible deniability about being puppeteers in this situation. It just seems that, they're deep in the middle of it, the trenches of this situation, and they are even maybe running the show of the situation. They're calling the shots, right? They're the ones in charge of the situation, which is why those people who say that Daily Mail should foot the bill for the private jet for Thomas Markle are right. I think it's the very least that the Daily Mail could do for this person. I mean, he clearly is a prime, I was going to say prime suspect, but not a prime suspect. It's when he's like a prime client. I mean, he's a client of theirs. He makes them money. And so the least they could do is help him out with the private jet if he needs to fly back, quickly. But when he left America, whenever he left, like a couple of years ago, I remember him saying that he's leaving, and or what was it, America or Mexico, whatever it was, he was leaving and starting over his life. So it seems that the Philippines is his life base. It's where he's based. So the idea of airlifting him out to return him back to America, I'm not even sure if that makes any sense, because he clearly decided to make the Philippines his home, and he seemed to have left the U.S. permanently when he decided to leave a couple of years ago, if that makes sense. Correct me if I'm wrong about that, but yeah. So anyway, he's still insisting, of course, that he wants to meet his grandchildren. Well, somebody pointed out something that, there was a time when he was allegedly saying that these children were not Meghan's biological children. There's persistent rumor that Meghan has had a hysterectomy, and that Thomas Markle allegedly said that her ex-husband told him this. And why would an ex-husband tell him something like this is beyond me. But so my big thing is, apparently Thomas Markle Sr. and Jr. have all sort of weighed in allegedly into this storyline about Meghan's hysterectomy and the fact that she's not the biological mother of these children, in which case they really have no relation to Thomas Markle, technically, right? So I'm not understanding why he is so gung-ho and desperate to see children that he allegedly said that were not even his daughter's kids, if that makes sense, right? So there's that aspect as well. I don't know if you guys have ever heard him say that or whatever. I mean, do correct me if I'm wrong. I've never heard him say it myself, but these are allegations. I've read different commentary that says that he said that. And if he did say that, I don't think he has any right to demand to see these kids, honestly. And Meghan is right to keep them away from him, if indeed he did say that. With that all being said, I think that's all for now. As I said, these are shots of the Champs-Elysees that you're looking at, and I did go into a furniture store, Restoration Hardware, where is it, which is relatively new on the Champs-Elysees, and it was very interesting, very, very interesting store. That was sort of before, I don't know if you saw the footage of inside the store I was with all the furniture and stuff. That was Restoration Hardware. Anyway, you guys, I think that is about it for now. I still have a few seconds left of footage, and what else can I possibly say about the Thomas Markle debacle? Well, I just feel sorry for Meghan. She didn't make herself. She didn't choose her father. I mean, some people think we choose our parents, but why would she have chosen this? I mean, she didn't choose her father. She's stuck with this for the rest of her life. It is mortifying. It's mortifying. It makes complete sense why she keeps her